So with the breathing, you want the inhale to be happening as the bag just finishes the peak.
Inhale as it's peaking?
So it peaks and then starts to fall, and that is your inhale.
Can you do like a slow motion, like...
Sure. So it'd be like, as the bag's coming up, this would be the exhale, of course, it's on the foot. I am finishing the exhale as I'm setting the bag hits this point and starts to fall. As soon as it starts its apex is when I start to inhale. So it's inhale, all the way down I'm inhaling. As soon as I start to stall, that's the exhale. It finishes as I release.
Oh man.
So it's like a quarter off beat from the actual inhale at the exact peak and the exhale at the exact stall. Exactly. And the reason, again, for that is because when you're doing the most difficult portion of the trick, you want to make sure, A, you have an engaged core, because that will make you be able to do the trick better. You're using more muscle, making it an easier load on your whole body.
Okay.
And B, because when you exhale, you get more energy. That's why people do weightlifting when they're doing really heavy loads. They don't inhale and like work out their body really hard. That's injury. You exhale and do the really tough thing. So specifically, I was talking like atomic set. It would be an exhale, start to set, and as the bag's setting, I have just completed my exhale completely, and I'm starting the decks.
So now your lungs are empty, and now you can be floating.
And you're in the air, because for basically every trick, as soon as you do the hop, that's when you want to be completely done with your exhale.
It makes a lot of sense, yeah.
And so you do that pump, and as soon as your leg starts to come down, all of a sudden your leg's down, you have room to inhale. It's more natural to inhale from that point.
Okay.
So your leg's coming down, you're inhaling, and then you find whatever component you want to do and complete the inhale when you start that dex. And then as soon as it...
Okay, can you do toe stalls with me again real quick?
Sure. So... then overemphasizing of it really helps you get the idea, but of course tricks have different timing. You do a ducking trick, there's a lot more time in there. You do swirl, there's a lot less time in there.
Yeah.
So it does change.
Oh man, I'm lightheaded, holy shit.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. So, you know, it's either over or under oxygenation. Oxygenation? Wow, I can't talk.
Oxygenation.
Oxygenation, thank you. So yeah, just be careful. That's a strong technique.
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of concept as in martial arts when you're going to punch you.
Exactly. And the other thing about martial arts is if you inhale and pull back, it gives you more momentum when you exhale.
Yeah.
So it's the exact same thing. If you're inhaling while you're doing your thing and you exhale while you get it, you have all this potential energy built up. And then you release with whatever set you will, called power, and then you release that and start the more mellow part of the trick. Very much related to martial arts, yoga, lots of stuff.
Just gonna try a rip walk. It's so quick for me because I'm like smaller. Is that like weird or?
No, it's not weird. It's obviously natural.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to breathe a little bit faster. You don't take full breaths necessarily.
Okay.
And that's where another portion of, I guess, shuffle comes in, is that like you need a way to reset your breathing and catch your breath, because usually shuffle will take more energy than you're gaining through your oxygen.
Yeah.
So your muscles need oxygen to work. So you have to have an appropriate level of oxygen to how much you're using your muscles. So my goal to share with you is that you want to do shuffle, but then make sure, if you want to keep doing your string, that you reset your breathing and do like a couple osis or something that's really like ducking. You can take a really big inhale with ducking and then maybe do an extra osis afterwards to really start catching your breath. Cycle it all out, back into shuffle. The trick is learning difficult tricks that allow you to catch your breath.
Yeah.
That's where I cheat at my shuffle. I'll be doing like, you know, Glory Whirl Matador, but then Spinning Whirl is a reset.
Yeah,
Such
yeah,
a high set, you can just... That's how you choose. And also, if you notice my game, I've had people point this out before. When I do pixie sets, I only do them waist high. But sometimes when I do a shut set, I'll do it like chest high.
Oh.
And I get this huge breath in there.
Yeah, you get a break.
That's my reset. I didn't even realize that until someone else pointed it out.
Huh.
But like mid-shuffle, a lot of times you'll see this. Huge shut butterfly, or shut down, to just like completely reset me. And then I can go right back into shuffle. Great job. When you pull your focus into breathing, it will help you shred as well, because it will take your mind off of any pressure that's around you. Great job.
Thanks, man. It makes a lot of sense now.
Good.
A lot more.
Shuffle training. I feel like the only reason I can do Rubberman and Rubberman 2 as efficiently as I can is because I've learned to breathe while doing it. There's no way you're going to hit 4 contacts all the way, 4 times all the way through a Rubberman if you're not breathing.
Whoa, shit. It makes a lot of sense.
Breathing in this way is going to slow down your game, though. To accommodate the breathing.
I hope so.
Right.
God, people need to stop shredding so fucking fast.
No, yeah, that's the point.
No, I
When I first started my breathing training, I was hard. Every time I set the bag off my foot, I found that I was shredding with the rhythm of that breath. It slowed down my moves, and I naturally set the bag a little bit higher, but I was way more controlled.
Thank you for pointing that out. One very important thing I find among a lot of the like gurus of footbag or whatever, people who write books, teach these classes, is you can know when a concept is legit when multiple people have found it on their own. You came to the same conclusion I did. Voshek wrote the same thing in his training manual. I came to that conclusion before I read the book. Someone was like, oh yeah, I read that in the Voshek manual. I go and read it, I'm like, holy shit, this is exactly what I'm doing.
Read what again?
Already. The Voshek manual?
I mean, what specifically in the Voshek manual?
About breathing and how to
okay.
breathe during shuffle. Like this exact concept that I'm teaching you, Jim Penske said that he came to on his own. You're saying, you're like, oh shit, I like learned to breathe and I slowed down my stalls, I stick things better, I'm not out of breath. Like that leads to an overall benefit. Just
I mean, I've definitely noticed like when I do OSIS, I do let air out, so it's like squishy, you know?
Exactly. There's a lot of other theories.
Inhales on the release and exhales on the saw.
The inhale is as it's peaking and on its way down.
Right.
The exhale is as it's setting and while you're completing the dexterity for shuffle. It's not necessarily as important if you're doing just like non-shuffle tricks. But personally, especially like paradox roll is one of the bail moves for me where I can catch my breath a lot. Because I get a nice big like, you know.
Huh.